Hello friends, my name is PK. Today I'm very excited to announce that I'm going to launch PK's Utility Tool 2.0. I have received so many appreciations and feedback from you on PK's Utility Tool version 1.0. Now it's time to launch the version 2.0. Friends, in PK's Utility Tool version 2.0, we have taken all the features and functions from the PK's Utility Tool 1.0 also. All the features and functions have been carried forward from there. And we have added a lot of new features also. And I'm sure it gonna be helping you a lot in Excel and it will improve your Excel productivity. And one thing I would like to tell you which is more important, that is it is absolutely free like PK's Utility Tool version 1.1. Both the versions of this utility tool is absolutely free and you can download it from my. Now I'm going to show you the features of PK's Utility Tool 2.0. First of all, friends, if you have not seen demo videos for PK's Utility Tool version 1.0, please watch that because these all features are available in version 2.0 also. So I gonna be explain you in this video only the new features which are available in 2.0. I'll provide the link in video's description also. So first of all, I would like to tell you how can you install PK's Utility Tool 2.0 in your Excel. So first of all, download the PK's Utility Tool from my website. I have given the link in video's description box and it will be a zip file. Just unzip that using the 7zip or any other zip application. Just extract that and let me extract here. So this is the add-in file and now simply you can right click on that and go to the properties, and once you will download it from the website you may get some button here that will be a unblock button. So you just need to click on the unblock and then simply copy this file, then go to the Excel, just open a new Excel file and then you can go to the files, options, and here go to the add-ins and just go to the manage Excel add-ins and just click on go. It will open the add-ins window and from here you can go to the browse. To open this window, I'll tell you one more method. You can go to the developer tab also and you can simply click on add-ins. The same window will be opened. Now click on the browse and in this add-ins folder just right click and paste that file which is PK's Utility Tool 2.0. Click on OK and make sure you have checked that. You don't need this 1.0 tool because all the features are available in 2.0, so you don't need the previous version. But for now I'm just keeping it to explain you what is the new changes. Click on OK. Here you can see the two different tabs, PK's Utility Tool 1.0 and 2.0. Now I will show you what is the difference. You can see in the ribbon also the features whatever we have added. Here the features available in this section, all the features are available in this section. If you will see, the selection is expanded here, but here you can see the selection part, all the features are available. Just removing the 1.0, so go to the add-in developer tab, add-in, and just uncheck this 1.0, just keep only 2.0, this one. Now I'm gonna be explain you what is the new in this version. This is the new ribbon for PK's Utility Tool 2.0 and we have the first option, this unhide all worksheets. We have this thing new which was not available earlier. And in the worksheet manager we have two new buttons also. One is show hide sheet tab and table of content. Now let me show you. So here you can see this time in the worksheet manager group we have three new buttons. Earlier it was only two, worksheet manager and flip tab. So friends, just assume you have some hidden sheet. So let me go to the worksheet manager first. So here you can see we have the 40 worksheets. Let me make few worksheet hidden. So let me hide these worksheet. if you have to unhide the hidden worksheet, right click, unhide, and then you will see the list of the worksheet. You cannot select the multiple worksheets here. You have to unhide one by one only. So to unhide on one click, you can use this button. You can unhide using the worksheet manager also. You just need to select all the sheet and just click on this button, but you need to open the form for that. If you don't want to open the form and all the worksheets should be unhidden, then you can simply click on unhide all worksheet, and then you can see all the worksheet have been unhidden. Next is the show hide sheet tab. If you don't want to show those sheet tabs, then you can simply click here. Then you can see the sheet tabs are not visible. You can click again to show the sheet tab. You can click again to hide the sheet tab. Alright. Now the next is table of content. Again, table of content available in worksheet manager also. You can see this is to create the table of content, but we have given here also, so that if you want to create the table of content only, you don't need to open the worksheet manager. So just click on this button. It will create a new worksheet, which is the table of contents, and it will take all the sheets. So you can see there are 40 worksheets available in this workbook, and it has created the worksheet name as well as the hyperlink for the worksheet. If I will click on any specific worksheet, so let's say I'm just clicking here, it will take me to the respective worksheet. So whatever data is available there, you can read that. You can create here a home button, or for now you can just click on flip tab. It will take you to the previous tab which you have used, and click to the next and just click on flip tab. So like that you can use this table of content. If you have a lot of worksheet in your Excel file, you can create a table of content which will be the worksheet name as well as the hyperlink of the worksheet. Next group is the file manager. In the file manager, we have two new buttons now. One is the file converter and second is the data segregation tool. Earlier it was only file manager. So let me flip to the Excel. So here you can see we have the file manager, we have the file converter, and we have the data segregation. Earlier in version 1 it was only file manager. So let me show you the file manager first. I have already created a demo video for this one. You can consolidate the data from multiple Excel file and you can manage your files using this file manager for any specific folder. Now I'll show you the file converter here. Convert your file between Excel, Word and PDF using this. Now let me show you. I have this folder wherein I have few Excel file. I'll show you the any Excel file. So let me open an Excel file. This is the Excel file. And I want to convert these Excel file into the other format, like I want to convert into PDF or I want to convert into Word. Then how can I do that? So let me show you quickly. You can go to the file converter, just click here. It will open the file converter. This is the file converter form, and here you can choose the from file. So our from file is Excel. We want to convert from Excel to PDF or to Word. So whatever you want you can select. So let's select first for Word. We want to convert from Excel to Word. Now let me show you the folder here. We have the Excel files here. These are the 5 Excel files. We don't have any file in PDF folder. We don't have any file in Word folder. So I'll select the path now. So first we will select Excel folder path wherein our Excel files are available. So just click on this select a folder or browse button. So let's select the Excel files folder. Then we will select the Word files. So just click on this button and select the Word files. So this is our input files and here will be our output files after conversion. And you can click on start conversion. So our Excel files will be converted into Word files. So all the 5 files will be converted, and once the process is completed, click on OK. It will open that folder. You can see these are the 5 files. So let me show you the one file here. You can see it has copied to the Word. The same table has been copied here. Alright, now let me go to the PDF, and here you can see the PDF is blank. Go to the file converter and select Excel here and select here PDF, which is by default. Let me quickly give the path. So select Excel and select for PDF. This is for PDF. Click on start conversion. So all the Excel files will be converted into PDF. You can see the files have been converted into PDF. Let me open one file. You can see here. Alright, now I'll show you how can you convert the Word file into Excel and PDF. So what I will do, I'll keep only Word files here. I'll remove PDF files, so just delete the PDF files from here. And then I will delete the Excel files also. Just select and delete the Excel files also. So we have only Word files. We don't have Excel PDF file and we don't have Excel file. Alright. Now quickly go to the file converter and select here Word. And from Word first we want to Excel. So let's select here Word file path, this one. And let's select here Excel file, this one. And click on Start Conversion. So now all the Word files will be converted into Excel. You can see process completed, and you can see here all the files have been converted. Let me show you one file. You can see this is the file which have been converted. Let me close this. Now I'll show you how can you convert Word to PDF. So I'll select here Word and PDF is here. Select the path, Word files and PDF file. Click on Start Conversion and you can see the files have been converted into PDF from the Word file. We can see a file. Now I'll show you how can you convert from PDF to Excel and Word. So let me delete all the Excel file from here. Then let me delete all the Word file from here. Now we have only PDF files. You can see these are the 5 PDF files. We don't have any Excel file. We don't have any Word file. So let me go to the file converter and select here PDF and just select here Excel. I would like to tell you one thing. This feature, the PDF to Excel or PDF to Word, can be converted only with the Office 2013 and above. The logic of this conversion is, first we are opening the PDF file as Word file and then we are copying the data from Word to Excel and we are saving the Excel file. So that's how we are converting PDF to Excel. Similarly, to convert PDF to Word, we are opening the PDF file as the Word file, then saving it as Word file only. Alright. While this program will open the Word file, if you will click on Start Conversion after putting the path, it will open the PDF file as the Word file. While opening the PDF file as the Word file, first time it may show you this message. You just need to manually check this checkbox and click on OK. Once you will check this checkbox and you will click on OK, it will not be displayed in future. Alright, so this is one time activity. So now let me put the PDF here and let's convert these files into Excel. And just click on Start Conversion. So first you can see it is opening Word application and then opening the files and process completed. It did not display this message because I have already checked this checkbox and clicked on OK on my system. So this is one time activity only. But if you will click on OK only, if you will not check this checkbox, then it will display every time. Alright. So make sure you have checked that. Now you can see our file from PDF to Excel conversion has been done. You can see this is the first file. So friends, one thing I would like to tell you, it will not convert the scanned PDF or the image PDF to Excel. It can convert, but it will just keep those images only. It will not use the OCR or anything else. It's a simple conversion. Alright. So make sure your PDF file is a proper PDF, not the scanned PDF. And similarly, we can convert from PDF to Word also. The logic will remain same. Quickly, I'll go to the data segregation tool. On the data segregation tool, I have already created a video how to create the data segregation tool. This is the same data segregation tool. I would like to explain you in this video also quickly. So let me open a new workbook first. Before moving on to the data segregation tool, I would like to explain you the next tab, which is random generator. This random generator is basically a new tab which was not available earlier in previous version 1.0. This is absolutely new. First, I would like to explain you these buttons. So what we are going to do, we will create a sample data using the random generator and fill random values. So the fill random value is the same functionality which was available in previous version also, but it was available in selection group. Now I have moved it to the random generator group. So let's say here I am taking employee name, and here I am taking the date of birth of the employees. Then here I am taking supervisor name, and let's say here I am taking country, sales amount. Let's take another column for sales date, and you can take another column sales time. To create the random employee's name or name, we have given a feature in random generator. So let's create almost 20 names. So I'll select this range, I'll go to the random generator. This is the random generator form, and here I will select first name only. So we want to create the random names. And gender, do you want to create for male name, female name, or both? So let's keep both and just click on generate. And you can see here random names have been created. We will create the random date of birth. So select range, go to the random generator, and this time we will select date of birth, which is by default selected, or you can select it from here. And now you can provide the age range. So do you want to create the date of birth between 20 to 60? We want to create 25 to 35. So the employee age should be between 25 to 35 only. Just create the random date of birth. Click on generate. Quickly it will create the date of births. Alright. Now in the supervisor name, this time we can use fill random values, this one. And it is asking, do you want to take values from the Excel sheet? No, I want to type the manually. I don't want to take from the Excel sheet because we don't have in the Excel sheet those values. So I'll click on no. It will open this box. It is asking, please enter the comma separated values. So let's say I'm putting here PK, Jack, Lucy also. Just put the comma separated and click on OK. You can see those three supervisors have been distributed randomly in this selection. Alright. Now here countries. Let me create 2-3 countries here. Let's say here I am putting US, UK and India. These 3 countries. Now randomly I want to distribute these 3 countries in this selection. I'll click on fill random values, and this time I want to take the values from Excel sheet. I don't want to type it. So I'll click on yes. And now it is asking to select that range. So I'll select this range and I'll click on OK. Now here you can see it has distributed those countries randomly. There is no logic behind that. It is just a random distribution. Alright, so now we can delete this. Now let's say we want to put the sales amount. So I will select this range. I'll go to the random generator and I will select the number. And number I can put, let's say between 200 to 800. And you can provide the decimal places here also. So we want to create a number with the decimal places. It should have 2 decimal places. So we can click on generate. Here you can see it has created a sale amount with decimal places. You can change the decimal places anytime. So let me delete this and create again. Let's say I want to keep the decimal places 4. I'll click on generate, and here you can see it has generated those values. Let me delete this. If I want to keep 6 decimal places, then it will give me only 0 to 5 numbers are allowed. Okay. If you don't want to keep the decimal places, you can simply put here 0 and generate. Then it will not take any decimal place. Alright friends, now I'll tell you how can you enter the random dates. So select here date, and you can see it is asking minimum date and maximum date. By default it has taken this year date, which is 1st Jan 2020 to 31st December 2020. You can click on generate and it will generate the dates between this range, but anytime if you want to change it, you can simply click on this calendar button. We want to create the date, let's say only between May. So let's select here May, 1st May 2020 to, again select here May 31st May 2020. So basically between 1 month only, just create the random dates. So click on generate. Now you can see all the dates are from May 2020 only, but the date has been created randomly. Alright, and now I'll tell you how can you create the random time. So just select this range and you can select the time. By default it is taking the 12 AM to 11:59:59 PM. You can change the time also, just click on this time. So let's say I'm saying this is the time picker. Here I'm saying let's take time only 1 PM. So let's take here 0 and let's take here 0, 1 PM and just apply to 3 PM. So let's take here 3 and let's take here 0 and let's take here 0. So 1 PM to 3 PM. Now generate. It will create the time between 1 PM to 3 PM and these are the random time. Alright friends, so that's how you can use this random generator. You can create the numbers, you can create the percentage. Put here what range of the percentage you want to take, from 1% to 100%. You can put simply 1 and 100, and you can put the decimal numbers also, like 2 decimal number, 3 decimal number. And for date I have already explained, and you can create the times also, I have already explained. Name you can create, and I have already explained, we have taken on column A. You can take the genders also. Now I'll explain you how can you, let me select this range and then go to the random generator. I'll explain you how can you create the email IDs. So let's say we want to create the random email ID, and for email ID we will select the gender. Do you want to create the email ID for male, female or both? So let's take both, and then here we have to put domain name. So email ID, do you want to create, you can put your domain name, like if you have a company domain you can put your @ your company domain, or let's say we want to create the email ID with the Gmail, so we can put here Gmail and just click on generate. Then you can see it has created few random email IDs and it has added @gmail.com. So whatever domain you will put here, it will create it automatically. Now I'll show you you can create the employee codes also. So let me delete this. So employee codes is just like a number creation. So we have given, let's say here, from this number to this number it can generate. So you can see this can be an employee code. But if the employee code is, let's say, 5-digit long in your organization, then you can remove 10 from here and 19 from here, and it can create the random employee codes. Let me delete this. Now I'll show you how can you create the mobile numbers, random mobile numbers. So again, mobile number we are taking between these two, minimum and maximum. You can change the number as per your requirement. If I will click generate, then you can see the random mobile numbers have been generated. The last thing I'll tell you, the country name. For the date of birth, I have already explained the date of birth. Now I'll show you the country name. So it will give you the country name here randomly. So let's generate, and these are the country's name. Alright, so you can create the country name also. So this is about the random generator. Now I will explain you the data segregation tool, how it will work. So let's say this is the data. So we can quickly format this data using the quick formatting, which was available in PK's utility tool version 1.0 also. It is available under selection. So just expand this and you can see this is quick formatting. Just click and each first row headers, yes, you can see quickly it has formatted our data. Now let's say we want to segregate this data. So now we will click on the data segregation tool, and as soon as we will click from the active sheet, it will load all the fields available in active sheet. So we have this table on the active sheet. In this table, the first row it is considering as header. So these are the headers. Okay. Now let's say we want to segregate our data by the supervisor name. So let's click on this buttons. It will be moved to the selected field box. All the fields available in this box, data will be segregated by those fields. And here we have selected the first option, multiple sheets in one Excel file. That means it will create one Excel file with the multiple sheets by the supervisor name. Let me show you. Let me click on run button. Then it is saying data has been segregated. It has opened a new file In this file, we have 3 seats, PK, Lucy, Jack. So these are 3 supervisors, remember. And this data is for PK only, this data is for Lucy only, and this data is for Jack only. You can save this file into a folder also. So you just need to check this checkbox, click on browse, and just select this Excel file. You can click on run. Data has been segregated. That folder will be opened, and here we have one file which is segregated data. You can open this data. This is the same file actually. Now quickly I'll show you how can you create the multiple file with the single seat. That means we have 3 supervisors. It will create 3 files. Each file will have only 1 seat. So that means for one supervisor it will have the separate file. So select this option, click on run, and you can see it has created 3 new files, which is Jack, Lucy, PK. But for each supervisor it has separate file. Now let me delete this. I'll show you the other options. You can see this, the second option has one checkbox also, that is create subfolders. You can check this checkbox. It is useful when you have the multiple selected fields here. So let me add this country also here. And we have checked this checkbox, which is create subfolders. So what will happen if I will run this? Then you can see data has been segregated and it has created 2 folders. One is country, second is supervisors. So whatever fields are available in our selected fields box, it has created those subfolder. Now let me show you inside the country. Inside the country we have 3 files, India, US and UK. So let me open the first file, and here you can see in this file we have only India's data. Okay, so it has filtered the data from country. And same we will have the other countries data. And in the supervisor column, let's open one file. Here you can see this file has only Jack's data. Okay, data is segregating by these 2 fields. It has created 2 folders since we have checked this checkbox, and then it has segregated data. Let me show you the third option here, that is multiple Excel file with multiple seats. Let me tell you what is this. So let me remove the fields from here. I'll keep only supervisor name, then I'll keep employee name. So we have 3 supervisors and all the employees are coming under these 3 supervisors. And here we will select supervisor name in primary fields. That means it will create 3 files for each supervisor, and inside those 3 files it will create the multiple Excel sheet for each employee which are coming under those supervisor. Let me run this. Data has been segregated. Now here you can see it has created these 3 files. Let me show you first file. So just open the PK's file. Here you can see it has created multiple sheets for each employee who are coming under P. Since we have the unique record for each employee, that's why it is taking only one record. If you have the multiple records for one employee, it will give you the multiple records also. Alright friends, so this is the third option in data segregation. Let me close this. That's it in the data segregation part. Now I'll show you the data entry part. This is also a new group available in PK's utility tool 2.0. It was not available in the previous version. In this group we have 4 buttons. First is the searchable drop down list. I'll explain you how this searchable drop down list works, but first I would like to tell you these 3 buttons. The first button is the data entry form. Let me delete few records from here. Let's say we have this table and we want to enter the data here. We can simply click on data entry form. It will open the form. And here you can see it has all the headers available in this table, and let's click on new record, and first we are taking the employee name. Let's take PK. Then you can type here date of birth. So let's type some date of birth. Let's say 1st Jan, and let's take the supervisor name Jack. Let's take country India. Let's take the sales amount. You can put any sales amount. You can put the sales date and time also, and then you can press simply enter. And just close this. So here you can see whatever we have entered is available here. So you can do the data entry using this form. You can go to the next, you can go to the previous, You can delete any records. Let's say this record, this is the first record. You can see I want to delete this. Then you can see the first record has been deleted. Alright, so this is useful. How can you enter the date? So let's say here we want to enter the date, but we don't want to type manually. We want to select the date from calendar. So we can select this range, we can go to the enter date and the calendar form will be opened. You can select any date. So the today's date will be highlighted. You can select any date. So let's say I want to enter the today's date. Then here you can see it is available. You can enter the date on the multiple cells together also. Let's select these cells, enter date, select any date and that date will be available here. Same, you can enter the time also. Rather than typing the manually time, you can select from the time picker. So just click on enter time and from here you can select the time, whatever you want to type. It is hours, then minute, then second, AM and PM, whatever you want, and that time will be available here. Alright friends, so that is the data entry form, enter date and enter time. Now I'll show you the searchable drop down list also. So let's say we have this data and here we have created some data validation list. You can see this is for the employee, this is for the gender, this is for the country name, and you have some product also. Few lists we have available here. We have simply used the data validation here. Let me show you the data validation list. You can see it is connected with this range, or you can use the name range also, and here we have this comma separated list, male and female. Let's say if you want to enter any name of the employee, but since we have very long list, it is difficult to find that employee name. Use this searchable drop down list. So just click here and you can click on searchable drop down list. It will open this form, and in this form you can see all the names available in the drop down are available here. You can type here. Let's say I'm typing here Jack. Then with the Jack we have these two names. Even it is searching from the second name also, you can see. If you want to enter this name which is selected in blue, you can simply press enter, or you can double click here. That name will be entered and your active cell will be the next cell now. Now you can type any name, search here. You can change the direction also. So just click on this button, show more, and here you can see the direction is down now. So whatever we are entering, it is going down, right? If you want to move right, you can select the right and let's enter anything. Now you can see it has moved to the right side, and accordingly drop down also has been changed. Now it is male female. So let's enter the female, and here now it has been moved to the country list. You can type the country. So let's search here India, and now it has been moved to the product. You can type any product also. Let's enter some product name here, 50, product 50. As soon as it has been moved to the next cell, since here no drop down is available, so form has been closed. Alright friends, so that's how you can use the searchable drop down list. Alright, now I'll tell you a few other features which we have given in the selections. So in the selection, let me show you. So it was available in data entry part, and now we have new also, that is tutorial and downloads. I'll show you this part also. Before showing this, I would like to show you the selection part. In the selection, now we have 4 new buttons. 3 these buttons which are trim and clean, number to text, text to number, and add leading 0. And we have this tutorial and downloads new group. So let me show you this new group. It is this simple. You can see the tutorial of dashboards, charts and visualization, and templates and tool. And you can download those dashboard and charts and visualization. So basically it will redirect to my website on the respective pages, and you can see the new dashboards and new charts and visualization. You can new templates or tool. You can learn how to create the dashboard and charts, and you can download them from there. Alright, so these are the simple links. Now I'll tell you about the selection. So these 4 buttons are new: trim and clean, number to text, text to number, add leading zeros. Now let me show you something here. Let's say we have some text here. I'm putting some leading space here. I'm putting hi. my name is PK, then I'm putting some trailing space also. Alright, now if I will show you length of this tags, so I'll use here len formula, it is 28. Okay, so we can simply select this range, and you can select the multiple range also. Even you can select in the filter also. You can filter something and you can select, it will work on the visible cells only. Go to the selection and just click here only trim and clean. Then you can see now the length has been changed because it has removed the leading and trailing space. Alright, so this is about the trim and clean. So this is just like a trim function which we used in Excel, but you don't need to put the manually trim function. You just need to select your range and you just need to click on this button. It will trim automatically. Now the next is number to tags. So let me add one worksheet here. So let me create some numbers here. So in place of number, I'll create some, let's say, employee codes. Click on generate. So we have some employee codes here. Okay. Many times we use employee code to putting some VLOOKUP. But in one file, let's say employee code is available in text format, and second file it is available in number format. What if you want to convert the number format to the text format? Then it can be useful. So let me show you. Go to the selection. Make sure you have selected those employee codes or any other number. Whatever number is available, it can be converted into tags. So go to the number to tags. Then you can see it has been converted to tags. We can see from here also. We can use is number. It will put false. Alright, so it is false. Now let's select this again, and now let's say we have the number which is available in text format like this. How we can convert them into number? So we can go to the text to number. So now you can see it has been converted to number. It is true. Alright, now the next is add leading 0. Let me show you this one. So in place of this employee codes, I'll take the simple number. So let's take here number. Let's take decimal point 0, and I'm taking, let's say, 1 to 10,000. Generate. So we have some numbers here. Let's say we want to add some leading zeros here. I want to add the 3 leading 0 in each number. Then how we can do it? So first we have to convert this into tags, then manually we will add leading 0, or we can use some formula here in the support column, then we will paste it again. So if we will type the 0 here, then it will not display the 0 because this is the number format. You can do it directly, just select this range. You can go to the selection, add leading 0. It will open this form. Now it will ask, how do you want to add the leading 0? Do you want to give the count of leading 0? You can hover here and it will show number of leading 0 to be added. So let's say 3 or 2 or 1, whatever you want, and just click on add. So you can see 3 leading zeros have been added in each number. Now let me check the length of this. You can see the length, somewhere it is 6, somewhere it is 7. Basically it has added the 30 in each number. Okay, so length can be whatever. But what if you want to keep the length consistent? For example, we want to keep the length as 7 only and add the zeros whatever is required. First, let me tell you, if you have some leading 0 and you want to remove the leading 0, then how can you do that? You can use this text to number feature. Basically it has converted to the text. So now let me click on text to number, then it will return the same numbers. Okay, so we have 3 here, we have 3 here, we have 4. If we will add 3 leading 0, then it will be 6 and it will be 7. But we want to make all to 7. Wherever it is required, add 3 0. Wherever it is required, add 4 zeros. How we can do that? We can go to this selection, add leading 0, and this time we will choose length. We want to make the length as 7 this time. Click on add. Then you can see the length is 7 consistent. Here you can see it has added 4 zeros, but here it has added 3 zeros. So it will calculate automatically how much zeros should be added, and it will add the zeros accordingly. Alright friends, so this is about the leading zeros. Apart from these features, we have added 4 new functions in PK's utility tool version 2.0. Earlier there was 17 functions available in PK's utility tool 1.0. Those functions have been carried forward. Apart from that, 4 new functions have been added and those are useful to you. Let me show you those functions. The first function is to get the distance. Let's say if you have the let and long for a destination or location and you have the let and long for 2 locations. So we want to get the distance between New Delhi to Mumbai and we have the let long. How we can calculate the distance using the Excel formula? So we have created a get distance function here. And friends, I'll tell you, it will give you the aerial distance only, it will not give you the road distance. Okay, so let me use here pk, and as soon as you will type pk or pk underscore, it will give you all the functions available in PK's utility tool. The most of the functions are available in the previous version. You can see our video how to use these functions. I'll tell you about the 4 new functions only here. The first function is the get distance. You can type here get and you will see the get distance, this one. Press shift control A and then it will show you the syntax. So it is saying first take the start latitude, start longitude and end latitude and end longitude. You can use this syntax or you can go to the formulas also. You can go to the insert function and here you can select the user defined. Then you can go to the get distance, this one, double click here, then this window will be opened and you can choose from here. So let's take the start latitude is this one, which is the from latitude. Then the second is the from longitude, which is the start latitude. So this is from the start position and the end position is this latitude and then longitude, and click on OK. So it is giving the distance between New Delhi to Mumbai, and if I will fill this down, it will give you the distance from New Delhi to Kolkata, New Delhi to New York to London, and you can calculate whatever distance you want using this. If you have the lat long from location to location, then you can use it. Alright friends, now I'll tell you how can you use the get emails function. So get email function is useful to fetch the email IDs from the long text. You can have that text on your Excel cell, or let's say if you have a complete column wherein big text are available and within that text some email IDs are available, one or multiple. Then it can fetch those email IDs from that text. Here I have taken some example. So let's take the first example. In this example we have some comments like send him an email on this email ID. So this is the email ID available in this sentence. We can fetch it from this. So we will use pk underscore get emails, this one, and we will select this range only and press enter. So it has fetched that email ID. You can see we can fetch the email ID if it is multiple. So here you can see this sentence, which is my email ID is abcd@example.com and I have another email ID which is test@gmail.com. So we have 2 email IDs in this sentence. We can fetch it using pk underscore get emails and just select this range. You can see it has fetched both the email and it has put a semicolon. Okay, so you can directly use it in your email or Outlook. Simply copy and then you can use it. So it has put the semicolons. It is separated by semicolon. So friends, if it has the multiple email IDs or one email ID, it can fetch it from there. Okay. If you want to add one more in this sentence, so let's say, and here I'm putting one more email ID. Let's say pk@test.com. Then you can see it has added one more email here, pk@test.com. Alright, now I'll show you the next function which we have added, that is get comments. If you have a column wherein you have used the comments, you can fetch those comments from your Excel cell. So let's say here we have some number and we have added one comments. This is sample comments. We want to get this text using the function. We can use here pk underscore get comments. Then we can select this range. You can see whatever available in the comments it has provided here. If I will copy and paste here, then it will be blank because there is no comments available. Okay, so you don't need to put the is error formula or anything. If the comments is available, it will return the comments, otherwise it will return blank. Now next formula is specific character count. Here we have few example. First we have these numbers separated by the slash. I want to get the count of slashes. How many slashes are in this cell? So we can use here pk underscore specific character count. And let me show you the syntax. So I'll press Shift Control A here. Then the syntax is complete text. Then first we will provide the complete text, which is the C3 in this case. Then we will provide the search text. So let's say we want to search or get the count of this slash. So we can provide in inverted comma slash. The third is the optional. You can provide, if you want to case sensitive match, you can put there true, or you can keep blank or false. If you will put there blank, then it will take by default false. Alright, so let me show you. The first, we will take the complete text, which is this one. Then we want to get the count of slash. So in the inverted comma, we will put slash and just close the bracket, press enter. It is giving 5. So we have 5 slashes here. You can use this to get the count of some ticket numbers or any other things. Let's assume these numbers are some ticket numbers. You want to get how many ticket numbers are available in this cell. Then we can simply put here +1. That will be count of our ticket numbers, because it is separated by slash. First we get the count of slashes, then we have put +1. That will be our ticket numbers. In the same case here we have the comma separated numbers. We can put here pk underscore specific character count, and here we can take the comma. It will give you the count of commas, but if you want to get the count of numbers, you can use here +1. Make sure you are using the +1. The comma should not be available at the last, otherwise it will be wrong. Correct? We are assuming that a comma is available in the between of the numbers only. Then it will return the correct number. Using the same method, you can get the word count also from a specific sentence or the paragraph. You can use the space in the specific character. So you can use the space like this, and it will return the word count. You can use +1 also. Now I'll tell you how it count the case sensitive. Let's say I want to count how many times pk is available in this sentence. Then we can put here pk underscore specific character count, and we will select this, and here we will put pk. And then the third option is case sensitive. Do you want to case sensitive search? You can put here true or false. So the third option, let me put here true and just close. It is giving 1. What if I will type pk again? Again it is giving 1. Even I will type the pk's again, then it is giving 2. Why it is giving 2? I have pk 3 times, but it is giving 2 because I am matching this case also. Alright, so if you want to check the case sensitive match, then you can put here true. Otherwise you can keep it blank. You can put only 2 arguments only. Alright friends. So friends, these are the few new features and functions available in pk's utility tool. Please provide your feedback on this utility tool in the comments box, and definitely going forward I will improve this utility tool and will provide you the next version with the new and useful features according to the feedback received from you. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Friends, if you like this video, please hit the like button and please subscribe my channel to get the regular update of my videos. Thank you so much for watching.